If your home is sitting on the market with no showings, your pricing may be the problem. And no, lowering the price later does not always fix the damage. If you're thinking about selling your home, you've probably asked yourself this question. Should I price high to have buyers negotiate me down? It sounds logical, right? Most sellers don't want to leave money on the table, and they want to leave room for negotiations. But in today's market, pricing too high can actually hurt you more than it can help. And the reason comes down to how buyers shop for houses. In today's video, I want to walk through why overpricing can backfire, how strategic pricing can provide leverage, when leaving room to negotiate actually makes sense, and what I'm seeing specifically here in St. Charles County and the St. Louis suburbs. First, I completely understand why sellers want to push the number higher. For most people, their home is their largest asset. And emotionally, sellers often connect pricing with value. There's also this belief that, well, buyers are going to negotiate anyway, so I might as well start higher. Sometimes sellers look at active listings on the market and think, well, my house looks nicer than that one, so I should price it higher. The challenge is active listings are not always the most accurate indicator of market value. Pending and sold homes tell the true story because buyers decide value with their wallets and not wishful thinking. Now, how buyers shop today. This is where the market has changed dramatically. Most buyers start online. They search by price range, monthly payment, school district, square footage, neighborhood, and buyers compare homes incredibly fast. And if your home is priced higher compared to similar options, buyers are simply going to skip it. Not because they hate the house. They think this house is overpriced. Even worse, some buyers won't even see it because it falls outside of their search criteria. For example, if buyers are searching up to $500,000 and you have yours listed at $525,000 when it really should be listed at $499,000, you could be missing out on an entire buyer pool. That matters because visibility creates showings. Showings create interest. Interest creates leverage. The first week matters the most. One of the biggest things sellers underestimate is the importance of the first week on the market. And that is when your listing is fresh, buyers are paying attention, agents are watching, online activity is the highest. And if a home launches overpriced, you lose that momentum quick. And once a listing is sitting too long, buyers start asking questions. What's wrong with it? Why hasn't it sold? Will they have to reduce the price? And that changes the psychology completely. Instead of buyers competing, they start waiting for a weakness. And that's not where sellers want to be. And a lot of sellers think we can always lower the price later. And yes, technically you can. But repeated price reductions often reduce negotiating power because then buyers interpret reductions as seller pressure, low activity, overpricing, future negotiation opportunity. Now, instead of receiving strong offers early, sellers may end up negotiating from a weaker position later. This is especially true in price-sensitive ranges where buyers are comparing monthly payments closely. Now, strategic pricing does not mean underpricing every home. That's important. Strategic pricing means understanding current buyer behavior, neighborhood competition, inventory levels, recent sold data, property condition, updates and features, and buyer demand at that price point. The goal is creating enough interest to maximize leverage. Sometimes that means pricing slightly under competing inventory to create urgency. Sometimes it means pricing directly in line with market value. And sometimes unique properties do allow for more negotiating room. But pricing should always be intentional, not emotional. There are situations where pricing slightly higher can work. For example, luxury properties, unique custom homes, homes with very limited comparable sales, extremely low inventory markets. But even then, there is still a pricing ceiling buyers will tolerate. And in today's market, buyers are more payment conscious than they were just a few years ago because of interest rates. That means pricing mistakes tend to get exposed faster. Here locally in St. Charles County and surrounding St. Louis suburbs, pricing strategy really depends on location, school district, condition, price point, and competition history. Homes that are updated, clean, move-in ready, and strategically priced are still getting strong attention. But homes that overshoot the market are sitting much longer than sellers expect. Buyers today are cautious. They are informed, and they have a lot more access to market data than sellers realize. So pricing correctly from the beginning matters more than ever. At the end of the day, pricing isn't about choosing the highest number possible. It's about creating leverage. The best pricing strategy is one that attracts buyers early, creates momentum, and puts sellers in a stronger negotiating position. Because in real estate, demand creates power, not wishful pricing. And if you're thinking about selling your house and interested to see how your home would realistically compare in today's market, feel free to reach out. And I'm always happy to help talk through strategy, pricing, and what buyers are actually responding to right now here in the St. Louis metro area. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.